Back, guys. This is the pick,
Welcome to the show.
and this is going to be our recap of the game against Ohio State and Michigan. We both had Michigan in this game, and we were definitely wrong in this one. Ohio State absolutely destroyed Michigan, 62-39. It wasn't even that close. Let's get some stats knocked out right quick. Haskins had a really great game, almost 400 yards, 6 tubs. Weber had a good game, almost 100 yards a tub.
Sure think Colin Murray's stats?
Right. Campbell had an amazing game, almost 200 yards receiving. Hill had an okay game as well. Dobbs did all right as well. Let's see here just a second. Clicked out of it. Patterson, 3 touchdowns, but interception. He didn't really play well. His stats were not terrible, but he didn't play well. Higgins did nothing, and the receivers really did nothing.
Nope.
Collins had two touchdowns though.
Yeah, he played well.
Yeah, he did all right. But don't believe in the hype is really should be the title of this video. And the question I'm gonna get to in a second. Man, Ohio State, they've been really good at offense for most of the year. A couple of games have been a little inconsistent, but their defense has been the issue this whole year, and the defense really played well this game, and their offense absolutely dominated this Michigan team. I thought a few things were going to happen in this game that happened. I thought the Ohio State was going to dominate on the defensive line against that Michigan offensive line. They're not very good. I kind of figured Patterson would play a bit better than he did. He did not play well. But the thing about it is the crux of why I think Ohio State has absolutely dominated Michigan is that Michigan defense is not as good as their stats and everything that people were saying. They were ranked number 1 in the country before this game, and they're definitely not that now. Really, that exposes the teams that Michigan played not having good offenses. You know, the people talk so much crap about the Big 12 and saying that they had no defenses, but look at how good their offenses are in Big 12 and compare that with the Big Ten's offenses. Are garbage.
Yep.
The garbage offenses that run old ass systems like Michigan runs an old system. Ryan and I were talking right before we turned the camera on. If Michigan was in the Big 12, they would get demolished.
Oh yeah.
Running this type of defense and running this type of offense. In Big 12, you can't do that, even with the bad teams. Not as talented teams, I mean. Because speed in the Big 12 is what they have. Might not be as talented, bigger, and whatever, but every big team in the Big 12 has speed. And we were talking about how if Oklahoma played this team, they would absolutely annihilate them.
People kill them.
Ohio State was just running crossing routes the whole game, and Michigan likes playing man mostly, and they're just not as fast as Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State has elite speed like Oklahoma and Alabama and those other teams do, and Michigan doesn't. They have a good defense, but against offenses they're not that good.
Right.
They got really exposed. That Devin Bush injury hurt them a lot. But the other thing is Michigan was not getting any pressure on Haskins at all, and Haskins was just shooting fish in a barrel pretty much. Going against slow defenders in man and end zone, and just crossing routes and just sweeps that running for long touchdowns. It's just a mismatch. We're going to talk about the LSU game and talk about defenses with SEC as well. But yeah, it's not really too difficult to play a really great defense when you're going against offenses absolutely garbage. And that's kind of what happened this whole season for Michigan in my eyes. You can look at the passing stats from what Michigan's opponents were hundreds, 70s, 60s. Like, honestly, I should have saw this coming, and we didn't. Especially me. Indiana did a lot of what Ohio State did last week, and they kind of exposed Michigan a little bit. And Super League, I didn't watch that game, and if I would have watched that game, I would have probably got a red flag on that. But I didn't watch that. Bought into the hype, and I was burned on this one. And a question in the video, and I want to get Ryan's what he has to say before I ask the question. So go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, man. I just figured that Michigan defense would play a lot better than that, get pressure. But yeah, it literally showed in this game that Ohio State had so much more speed on offense than they did on defense. Like, there were it was almost like it's almost like the tortoise and the hare thing. Like they were the rabbits, and that turtle was trying to catch that rabbit, and it just wasn't happening. Like he said, they were doing a lot of crossing routes. There was easily 2 to 3 of those crossing routes. Their guy couldn't even get close to tackling him, and yeah, they would get like 20, 30 yards on that one play. So. Yeah, man, that was my mistake, thinking that this defense could keep up. And my second thing was I figured, kind of in his boat, Ohio State's defense wasn't that great. So I figured they would struggle, even though I knew Michigan's offense wasn't that great anyway. Really, I watched a couple games this year, and both games I watched, they looked terrible on offense. So, but yeah, I figured Ohio State's defense was going to be able to get as many stops as they did, and they did. They got plenty enough stops, and just yeah, man, that Michigan State, or excuse me, I won't keep on saying State. That Michigan team just does not have the defense to keep up with that speed that Ohio State had. It was just it was almost watching Alabama crush those little teams that they play. Like I wouldn't say quite as bad, but close. Like it was 62-39. That's pretty bad. Especially that this is supposed to be the game and be, this big rivalry between these guys, and really it was one-sided the entire game. So for, Coach Harbaugh and Michigan players and fans and all that's embarrassment. Like that doesn't even make me excited for the next matchup that they have. Like that's how embarrassing that is. So that's very disappointing for Michigan, man. They got some things to figure out. They got to go back and draw board because that's embarrassing. But good win for Ohio State. They literally showed that they can definitely be one of these teams that can contend for the national title. I disagree that they're probably gonna go ahead of OU, but that's a whole other thing. But they played really well in this game and dominated Michigan, and Michigan just kind of looked like a rag doll in this game.
Yeah, question of video is Jim Harbaugh and Michigan ever going to beat Urban Meyer Ohio State?
To me, the only way they can is if they completely switch up their game plan. That's one. Two, get some better players, because if they're just going to keep these little slow guys, it ain't going to happen. Those are really the two main things. If they can switch up game plan, get some better players on both sides of the ball, more so on offense, because their offense is terrible. Their damn quarterback played like Eli Manning. But yes, I'm not gonna say completely no, because even though part of me wants to say yeah because of how bad they did get beat in this game, but I think Harbaugh could turn it around. But like I said, he would have to do those necessary things to even keep up. I wouldn't even say win. To even keep up and make it a rivalry game like it should be, and what this rivalry has been the past years. Yeah, he's gonna have to change up some things and get some better players, in my opinion.
My answer is no for right now. Until Harbaugh is able to change his philosophy a little bit, he's still running this old school type of offense that doesn't work in college football anymore.
Really, not even.
Especially when you don't have the players, you don't have a lead offensive line, you have elite running backs. Like he's trying to do this old school Alabama offense earlier Nick Saban wore, and he doesn't have the players, and that offense doesn't work in college football now. He's got to figure things out. Maybe even hire offensive coordinator like Cliff Kingsbury, maybe switch some things out, add more spread type concepts, and on defense you got to get more speed, more talent. Their defensive coordinator said that they would do great against spread teams, and they got eaten alive by a spread team. And I was thinking to myself, Oklahoma's better in every facet than Ohio State, and they're really lucky they didn't play Oklahoma. Yep. And they're really lucky they didn't play Alabama in the playoffs, because if they would have swept by Ohio State, it would have gotten obliterated by Alabama, because Alabama's, you can argue, as good as Oklahoma in offense, and they're really good at defense. Yep. So we'll see how things shake out with the playoff discussion. We'll talk about that next week, of course. But great win by Ohio State and Michigan. You got some things to work on.
Yeah, man, Ohio State definitely put the pedal to the metal and stomped on them some Wolverines. That's for sure. That'll do it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Of course, we'll love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. We'll see you on the next one.